Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. We have a lot to talk about this evening. And we're going to start off with obviously the Hunter Biden emails and the Durham probe special counsel. And I'm going to touch upon that, and I want to just compare it really quickly to a couple of other stories where media and the entire political establishment have tried to just cover up when it pertains to when it pertains to Democrats. So hit subscribe to this channel right now. The Durham probe special counsel is just like the Mueller probe, okay? It is a special counsel that's independent of the Justice Department in many ways. And really quickly, I probably should have had this up already, but you can look at this article right here, and I'll just get it's a lawfare article. How do you solve a problem like John Durham? So really quickly, here's this article right here, and when people say, well, nothing's ever going to happen, I just point them to this article. It's right here, okay? How do you solve a problem like John Durham? This is in lawfare. Very, I would say, a publication focused on an establishment viewpoint pertaining to politics, geopolitics, law. So hit subscribe to this channel right this second, ladies and gentlemen, to my super chat. I can't thank you enough. You help me do these. I can't do these live streams without you. So the super chat, thank you. If you want to learn about why John Durham is going to eventually investigate Hunter and a whole lot of other people, hit subscribe to this channel and read first this lawfare article, because everybody from Michael Sussman's law firm, the indicted attorney, to a whole lot of other people and agencies, anyone associated, anyone, and any agency, anybody associated with Durham's initial investigation can be investigated, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with setting up and framing Trump. So Hunter Biden did not do that, or let's just say he wasn't directly involved. But people who worked with him or for him in some capacity might very well have been involved in setting up and framing Trump. So I just want to read you this. Consider for a moment the breadth of this investigation. Durham gets to look not merely at whether anyone broke any law in connection with the origin or conduct of the Russia investigation during the campaign, but whether anyone in the Mueller investigation broke any law at any time. A matter in which there has been no public suggestion of any kind. Are you kidding me? Have you spoken to Tom Fitton? Have you spoken to John Solomon? Have you spoken to anybody at the Federalist or the National Review or the Daily Caller or anybody who has actually looked at what's going on? Have you spoken to Donald Trump? Have you spoken to Rudy Giuliani? Of course, a whole lot of people have stated categorically. Have you spoken to a whole bunch of people? Oh, I've written about this. So I love when a matter of which there's been no public suggestion of any kind. Of course there has been. Durham can investigate anyone who potentially violated any law that is in any way connected with the investigation of 2016. And that investigation can target Mueller and his staff. So that is the basis for if the law firm, for example, that purchased the Steele dossier worked in some capacity to help Hunter Biden or Joe Biden, then Durham can investigate that law firm. if there's some tangent, or if they're related in some manner, that's how you got Monica Lewinsky from Whitewater, and that's how you got Stormy, um, as which she could have been part of, or maybe she was part of the Mueller probe in some manner. Um, or you got people who, George Papadopoulos. He didn't do anything wrong, but apparently he had a meeting with an Australian diplomat, and so he was then caught in the Mueller probe. Had absolutely nothing to do with the allegations of the Kremlin installing Trump, but he got caught as part within that investigation. And so there are people who are close or were close with Hunter and Joe, who are also very close with the people who've already been indicted. Okay? So, Kleinsmith, for example, I mean, you don't have to look far. Kevin Kleinsmith, the FBI official indicted for lying to FISA judges, also actually, I believe, was part of the Mueller probe, going after George Papadopoulos. So if we're bringing up so they set up and framed George Papadopoulos. And one of the attorneys who did that was eventually indicted by John Durham. So that's that's where we're that's where we're heading. Um, Everyone here, thank you. Eric and Luke, thank you so very much. JG, everybody here, great to see you. Now, I just want to show, if you look at these stories right here. So, we'll just look at this one. New York Post. Hunter Biden sought forever deal with China military tied firm. Emails. So, right here, let's just look at this. Hunter Biden tried to strike an exceedingly lucrative forever business deal with a state-owned Chinese energy company that's since been sanctioned by the U.S. over its ties to the military, according to the latest emails unearthed from his infamous laptop. So not only did he work for Burisma, which was a company that was accused of being very corrupt, but now these are emails where the U.S. is now sanctioning the company for its close ties to the Chinese military. And of course, the president's son. Can you hear me now, ladies and gentlemen? Am I back? I actually didn't realize that. Am I back? Can you hear me? Boom. Can you hear me, ladies and gentlemen? Is this mic on? Is this mic working? Okay, awesome. JG, thank you. So, all right. So here you have the president's son. Here you have the president's son trying to broker a deal. Joe Boxer, can you hear me? Joe! Thank you, Joe. Greatly, 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 greatly appreciated. Thank you, Joe. To my super chat. Thank you so very, very much. Prescott, thank you. Thank you so much. Joe, I appreciate the support, Joe. Thank you so much. David, hello. Joe, thank you again. To my super chat. I can't do these without you, so I appreciate your support. So, The plan would apparently involve the then Prime Minister of Kazakhstan, who was arrested on suspicion of treason last month following his ouster as head of the country's intelligence service. The emails dated to April 2014, okay, when Biden's dad, President Biden, was vice president, and about a year before father and son apparently posed for a photo with the Kazakhstan official. So you have these are like serious pay to play schemes. You have Democrats, not just through the Clinton Foundation. The Bidens might be actually even more corrupt because what they're doing, the whole reason the Clintons got away with hundreds of millions of dollars into their foundation and benefiting from the access and from the people they met, the networking, and the money they got in business deals from that networking and speeches from that networking. They were able to always say, well, it's our foundation. It's our foundation. And then you had people say, that foundation does a lot of good. And it's like, okay, they didn't do good for the people of Haiti, but I mean, these are the morally superior liberal Democrats we're talking about. So they live in their own world. With mashed potato brains and his son, there wasn't even a foundation. So they might even be more corrupt than the Clintons. Okay, the correspondents show. I mean, so they're doing this. He's vice president at the time. So he's helping his son broker deals as he's vice president. Could you imagine if Trump was doing that? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? No, thank you again. C Murph, let's keep it going. I have to pay to get my Goodman fix. C Murph. Thank you, C Murph. Liana, can you hear me now? I can hear you. Liana Bond, thank you. Liana, thank you so very, very much. To my super chat, thank you so much, everybody. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Herschel Ballard! Herschel! Thank you so much, everyone. I wish I could do more than just read you the news and give you my analysis, but I just thank you so much. So, I'm not trying to broker a shady deal with foreign with companies that get sanctioned by the US like Hunter. I'm just, doing these live streams, and I do appreciate your support greatly. Herschel, thank you. Joe, C. Murphs, Liana, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Greatly appreciated. The correspondence show that Hunter Biden and then business partner Devin Archer, who has since cooperated in the tax probe of the first son, discussing an offer to help find investment opportunities for the China National Offshore Oil Corp. So this is what happens, okay? This is why media doesn't do anything. Like, media doesn't care about. The National Post does. And even the Daily Beast does. Like, they wrote an article today about Hunter Biden. But this is what really gets the Washington Post going. Okay, just really quickly. National Archives had to retrieve Trump White House records from Mar-a-Lago. So what? They recovered 15 boxes. So what? These are letters from President Obama and Kim Jong-un. This is what is like so super huge, like a super huge story now. Okay? This is all they're focused on. And now, archives found possible classified material. These are the National Archives. These aren't like top secret and special access program intelligence. Here you have Hillary Clinton emails held info beyond top secret. It was an intelligence community internal watchdog. Okay, Hillary's team copied intel off of top secret server to email. Are you kidding me? They don't even care. Even James Comey is like, oh, you know what? There was no intent. Hillary Clinton's email server contained SA special access program level communications. If you were in the military and this happened, you would get immediately sent to jail. Okay? There was no special access program intelligence. There couldn't have been in the National Archives because the people who run the National Archives don't have access to any special access program or top secret intelligence. And if there was classified data that wasn't good, that wouldn't have been good, but it's nothing like owning private servers and then deleting 33,000 emails. But then, of course, you get, is Donald Trump right when he says Hillary Clinton deleted 33,000? And then PolitiFact, Donald Trump says Hillary Clinton deleted 33,000. And then, of course, with every fact check, it's, well, it's true that she did delete, but you know what? There's no evidence that she did so to circumvent a subpoena. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Here, this is PolitiFact. This is PolitiFact. This is hilarious. Okay? Check this out. Check out how hilarious this is. We rated half true. Why? Let's go to half true. Okay, so it's so hilarious. Trump said, you, Hillary Clinton, get a subpoena. And after getting the subpoena, you deleted 33,000 emails. And then it's just the doublespeak. Clinton staff received a subpoena for Benghazi-related emails March 4th. An employee managing her server deleted 33,000 of Clinton's emails 3 weeks later. An employee managing her server deleted 33,000 emails 3 weeks after getting a subpoena. The FBI found no evidence the emails were deliberately deleted to avoid the subpoena or other requests. The FBI found no evidence that the emails were deleted after the formal request. Then why were they deleted? Clinton's team requested for the emails to be deleted months before the subpoena came. So what? So what if the team requested that they were to be deleted before the initial demand? The fact that they were deleted after the initial demand, after the demand from Congress, is all you need to focus on. Like, what is more important, the congressional demand, okay, or the fact that, gee, they were scheduled to be deleted? So, oopsie, sorry, Congress, they were already scheduled to be deleted. How could you circumvent, or how could you be accused of deleting government records after a subpoena when, gosh, they were already scheduled to be deleted? Then you don't abide by whatever it is you scheduled, and then you give the information to Congress. But see, that's not the way they work. It's like they're like in a completely new universe of their own making. They also argued that all the emails that would be relevant to the subpoena had already been turned over. Who cares what they argued? Are you kidding me? Of course they're going to say that. We rate Trump's claim half true. How could you rate Trump's claim? They literally deleted emails after the congressional subpoena. Literally did that, and then it's still half true. So that's what you. There you go. That's what you're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a world where if you are a Democrat, you're going to have these hilarious fact-checking organizations say, you know, what Trump said was true, but let's give some additional context. The context is they were already scheduled to be deleted. So since these 30,000 emails were already scheduled to be deleted, well then, even if Congress demanded them, sorry, they were already scheduled to be deleted. It's like, the point is, there's a double standard. And then you get the people who are like, you know, if the government is saying that, if the government's giving you information and you push back, then that's very harmful to society. This is what Democrats are saying now. This is what like wonderful, morally superior liberals are saying now. They're saying that you're a big problem if you happen to critique or you happen to offer a counter argument or refute anything government is telling you. I grew up. If you're older than 40 years old, or even 36 years old, or 37, you realize that if the government is telling you something, that doesn't make it true. Okay? In almost always or oftentimes, it's usually the opposite of true. It's usually either false or it's either perhaps a bit of information that you should scrutinize. Maybe it's not altogether true. Ebenezer Adams! When these people fall, it'll be fast. Bernie Madoff was beyond reproach until he wasn't. Exactly. Ebenezer, thank you. Exactly. I mean, this is the thing. They have, Ebenezer, they can try and distort reality. It's not going to work. Nothing they do works. Nothing they do works. Okay? They can try their best. They can try their best to coerce, bully, intimidate. Ebenezer, they can try their best to coerce, to intimidate, to silence, to suppress. It's not going to work. Rolo, hello. It's not going to work. I mean, this is a great example right here. This is just one example. This is the type of benefit of the doubt. This is the type of doublespeak that they level against Trump. And they say, oh, he lies all the time. He literally told exactly the truth. And the problem that they had with it is because Clinton actually deleted the emails after the congressional demand, what they're saying is, yes, it's true that Trump is correct. Clinton did delete the emails after the congressional demand for those emails. However, there's no evidence that she did so to circumvent the congressional demand. Well, then why? Then why did it happen? See, with suspicion, the point of propaganda is not information; it's emotion. It's emotion. The information is there. The suspicion is emotion. Information is Clinton deleting those emails after Congress demands them. That's information. The suspicion is the emotional, the result of understanding those emails were deleted after the demand for the congressional demand. The suspicion is, oh, well, that's obviously to circumvent the request. This fact check is to stifle or prevent any suspicion, to quell any rumors. They don't want. They've already lost the information battle. Okay, nobody trusts them. Nobody trusts the establishment. They just don't. They don't trust the establishment, which is a huge insult to the establishment. Okay, I mean it's we can go on forever. So, I mean, you could just replace Hunter Biden with Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. Could you imagine if Donald Trump Jr. sought forever deals with a China military-tied firm? Just imagine that in the chat. What do you think they would say? What do you think they would say? If this was Donald Trump Jr. or Eric Trump, what would they say? What would the accusation be? And so, I mean, there you have it. I mean, there you have it. So, so we'll continue. So, the same month, both men. All right, hold on one second. The same month, both men were appointed to the board of Ukrainian energy company Burisma Holdings, which paid Biden as much as $1 million a year. And Archer suggested that a deal involving the two overseas firm would set them up for life. So Burisma and this military linked company in China, they wanted to set up a deal for both of those companies where they would get a cut, a commission. This is here. If we can connect the dots between CNOOC and Burisma, we can do only that forever. Meaning that they just would just get a commission forever from the deal and not worry about anything ever again. Politics is a racket. That's the thing. When Trump came into politics, he basically did not revere did not respect or didn't play ball. He didn't revere the racket. He made money from buildings and from business ventures and from real estate and from his show. He didn't he didn't need politics to make money. You make money in politics through networking. That's where the speeches come in. You think that they're paying these politicians for knowledge and for wisdom? The speech is in networking. You think that Hollywood, like celebrities, are paying $100,000 for a table to just be at a Clinton event? You think that they're paying all that money? No, it's a networking event. They know other people are going to be there, and they want access to, or they want the ability to access the power or the influence that the politician has. The politician needs their money, so it's a quid pro quo. It's pay to play. You're gonna go ahead and pay a lot of money. That's why you have foreign operatives who infiltrate campaigns. We have one California Democrat that almost certainly that happened to. But all they're doing is setting up business. This is not rocket science. You can look at Hunter Biden. He seems like a nice person, even though he's engaged in really bizarre and questionable and, possibly criminal, almost certainly criminal behavior. But you look at, like, a lot of criminals are amiable people. They're not like monsters. They're charming oftentimes. Some of the worst people on the planet are charming people. Okay, that's how they deceive. In politics, you get media is going to focus, okay? Media is going to focus on Trump and forget or just ignore this story. If it's right here in the email. His business associate says, if we can get these two companies, both of which are accused of corruption, together, okay? If we can get those two companies together, Ebenezer Adams. The accusation is not the question, but the misprision, misprison of media and lies by omission. Exactly. And the DOJ by selectively hitting some with lace, yet others with lashes for the same crime, if the former is charged at all. Exactly. Misprision. Exactly. 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 And I agree with you. No, definitely. Look, I'm not saying that they're like, I'm not saying the dealer is a nice person. I'm not saying the person that is engaging in crimes is a nice person. I mean, like, the way that a lot of criminals behave, or a lot of dangerous people behave, is that you ordinarily you couldn't tell right away that they, aside from them actually committing the criminal act, there a lot of them have great person or good personalities, or are charming or amiable, or you could see like Goodfellas, for example, or Casino. A lot of the, like, you before they perform the hit, they're just having a good time, eating, relaxing. So what I was trying to say is, Hunter Biden probably has a good personality when he's among all of these powerful interests, and so he gets them to believe that they either have access or will possibly have access to the US government because his name is Biden. But I agree with you. No, it's definitely like it's more of a facade, um, and not stating that they're good people, but the personality could be viewed as an amiable or charming at times. Ebenezer, very true, and Ebenezer Adams. What they'll do is, like, for example, if Merrick Garland goes after one of if Merrick Garland goes after one of the Democratic Party's adversaries, it's not a oh, by the way, did I thank Eric and Luke? Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you. If um if Merrick Garland goes after, let's say, I mean, there's so many examples now of him going after, parents and anyone who disagrees with. Okay, that's not viewed as Biden's personal attorney. When Eric Holder literally told the entire world, I'm going to defend President Obama no matter what, he was never accused of being President Obama's personal attorney. When William Barr did that, it was Obama's personal attorney. So there's a double standard. Here's the thing also, ladies and gentlemen. Once Trump Republicans take over the House, once Trump Republicans take over the Senate, it's going to be a different story, a different ballgame. It will be a different story, okay? Because um, you'll have the Republican Party no longer investigating a Republican president. That's something I think that most people don't understand. They blame Trump, and the thing. Okay, President Trump wasn't perfect. He made mistakes his last year in office. He got stuck into Twitter. And by the way, Twitter earnings are tomorrow. And really quickly, it's not just me that you type in Twitter, Kathy Wood. So Kathy Wood sold $142 million of Twitter shares ahead of its earnings. So she sold hundreds of thousands of shares of Twitter. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to the earnings tomorrow. It's probably going to be, they're probably going to stink. Barron's, Kathy Woods sold 3.66 million shares of Twitter. Arc Innovation, 3.66 million shares of Twitter. And then the other, Next Generation ETF sold 289,000 shares. That amounted to $142 million. Twitter is set to announce its earnings Thursday. So, just really quick, because I know that one of the viewers was also down on Twitter, as I am. So, long term, the whole thing's going to tank. This whole, the market's gone back up. The fundamentals of the economy are terrible. Oil is going to reach an all-time high on its way to $200. It might not get to 200. I think it very well could, depending on what takes place. But it's going to go easily past $140 to $150 per barrel. Inflation is still going to be skyrocketing no matter what they do with interest rates. The Fed is going to raise interest rates numerous times, not just once, numerous times. Okay? Consumer sentiment is at a decade low. Here you can go ahead. The stimulus that helped people. The stimulus that helped people ignore inflation for a moment. That's all dried up now. U.S. consumer sentiment falls to a 10-year low. Rider of a pale horse. HA, your show times are hard on us East Coast people. I apologize. I know. Rider of a pale horse. I'm going to try my best. I am going to try my best in the next couple of days to, maybe not tomorrow, but Friday. Rider of a pale horse, thank you. Friday, I'm going to definitely try to do the live stream earlier, probably around 8 p.m. So, Joe, hello. Rider of a pale horse, thank you. I am going to try to do the live streams earlier. Saturday, I think I'll probably get to the live stream a lot earlier Saturday. So, but you have consumer sentiment falls to a 10-year low. Really quickly, we'll get back to the Durham probe and everything. But, consumer sentiment's at a 10-year low. Inflation is at a decade's high, a 40-year high in inflation. Supply chain issues are still a huge problem. Key labor shortages are a huge problem. All of these issues are, enormous, and still you have the PE ratio of most companies in the S&P 500 at all-time highs. So the Buffett index is still at an all-time high, or close to an all-time high, or actually at an all-time high. So let's look at the Buffett index really quickly here. So hold on one second. Buffett indicator, sorry. Currently at 59. Hold on, it's 59%. So, sorry, 205% of GDP. Buffett indicator is 205% of GDP. Buffett indicator is the ratio of total United States stock market valuation to GDP. By our calculation, that is 59%, or about $1.9 standard deviations above the historical average, suggesting that the market is overvalued. These are historical all-time highs. However, with interest rates at historical lows, there is reason to suspect that this time is different may hold true. Nah, I don't think so. Because the interest rates are going to go up. So, so you can look. Look at this one. Historical trends since. Look at this one. Internet bubble, it was 65% higher, and now it's 59% higher in the long term. So, so that's just one example of what's going on. But you can look here and let's continue. I know it's difficult to actually say, when the whole thing's going to tank, but it's going to tank. That's obvious. The whole thing is going to tank. And Ride Over Pale Horse, thank you again to my super chat. Thank you so much. So let's see. So he then goes, less than 10 minutes later, Biden responds, thinking the same thing, fraught with many problems. Many don't even know if we could pull it off, but it's a major option. So there. And then, why is this? Where am I here? Oh, okay. In a follow up message, Biden brought up the possibility of involving the oil rich former Soviet Republic of Kazakhstan, writing, what about KZ? How is the shutdown of their mega will go into effect, our guys? Archer replied that he'd been thinking about that and he'd speak to, okay, the Sun today. I'll let you know how it turns out. A month later, on May 7th, Hunter Biden emailed Burisma executive that he landed in Beijing, and one of the principal reasons to discuss the possibility of cooperation with the military-tied company in Burisma. So nobody in media is questioning the impact on national security, U.S. national security. This is all taking place while Biden is vice president. This is all taking place while Biden is vice president. So it's like, I mean, it's unbelievable how nobody in the Washington Post or the New York Times asks, and nobody at these lofty, revered, respected Council on Foreign Relations organizations, do they ever ask, well, gee, were there foreign operatives perhaps working at these companies to try to find out more about U.S. national security from Hunter or Joe? Or, was this good for U.S. national security? These are the people, by the way, who, they're so obsessed with controlling the flow of information, while at the same time suppressing obvious corruption. Like, obvious corruption. It's interesting how Ebenezer Ebenezer Adams, the crash will come only when the U.S. can't stop. Stop it, whatever it means. When it all starts to slide, nothing will stop it. The key, watch the derivatives bubble and shipping. Yes, I agree with you. Ebenezer Adams, I agree with you. Shipping and well, the derivatives bubble is huge. That's what already took down Archegos, the hedge fund. Thank you so much, Ebenezer. Thank you so much. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Absolutely. I agree with you on that. And it's interesting. It's interesting too. The derivatives contracts are not really. I explained this in my Federalist article last year. Um, they're not regulated by the SEC for the most part, or other regulatory bodies. So I agree with you. That's true. That's true. I mean, it's when it starts. When it starts, um, when it starts going down, it's not going to stop, and you will see the 2 to 3,000 point drops. And it's just it's gonna when it goes down, it'll go down very fast, and the when it goes down, it'll go down very fast, and you'll probably see hedge funds. You'll probably see hedge funds go under also, like Archegos, or smaller hedge funds, like Archegos. Let's look at shipping, supply chain. Hmm. Oh, look at that. I don't think that this is going to take place, but shipping firm expects supply chain stalls to ease this year. Well, shipping crisis will be over in a few months. Well, that's likely not the case, but here, a normal supply chain, it's unlikely in 2022. Um, LA Port sees chance to ease ship backlog by summer. So, thank you, Ebenezer. Thank you. Ebenezer, thank you so much. So let's see really quickly. So getting back to a month later, on May 7th, Hunter Biden emailed Burisma executive that he landed in Beijing. The same day, Archer also wrote and said, I will provide a full itinerary for KZ next week. And the primary meeting is to set with the Prime Minister of Kazakhstan. So you have the Vice President's son setting up deals with the Prime Minister of countries and energy firms or military tied firms in China. How this is not a national security concern, I don't know. Jeanette Cole, Mr. Goodman, you are a diamond. Thank you so very much, Jeanette. Thank you. David in my 40s. Jeanette, thank you. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. To my UK viewers, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jeanette, and thank you so very much for watching always. So kind of you. Thank you, Jeanette. So kind of you. Hope all is well. Jeanette, thank you again. So then you get everything will revolve around the meeting. The subject will be securing the highest quality proven reserve fields in Kazakhstan. What? How does Hunter Biden have access to the Prime Minister of Kazakhstan? Can somebody answer that at the Washington Post, the New York Times? Could you imagine if Trump or Trump Jr. or Trump or Eric Trump so it's China's third largest oil company that he's working with, sanctioned by President Donald Trump's outgoing administration over its activities in the South China Sea, where officials said it was preventing other companies from engaging in offshore exploration and extraction of oil and gas. CNOOC acts as a bully for the PLA and to intimidate China's neighbors. So China's military continues to benefit from government civil military fusion policies for malign purposes. Then Secretary Wilbur Ross said at the time. So then why is Hunter Biden trying to? It's really interesting. You can't talk about the origins of you know what. You have Hunter Biden working as an intermediary or broker between um, this energy company um, and another corrupt company. It's like it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. In June, the Washington Examiner was the first to report on emails regarding the planned meeting with including how Hunter Biden ditched his Secret Service detail in Paris in May 2014 to travel to Kazakhstan. Why didn't he want the Secret Service with him? That's bizarre. Last month, Senators Chuck Grassley and Ron Johnson, who have been investigating Hunter Biden's overseas business dealings, accused the Secret Service of improperly redacting records of his travels, saying documents they received did not show whether Secret Service personnel or Hunter Biden traveled to Kazakhstan in May or June of 2014. And of course, but Trump had boxes of National Archives. The National Archives is not going to, there's nothing classified there. There's nothing classified at all. So like I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, it makes no sense. None of it makes any sense. The only thing that makes sense is the attempt um, by media to just cover everything up. Snubless Bench! Hey there, bro. How are you doing today? When will you be streaming to Rumble? I'm going to launch a fan project for this channel soon. Stay tuned. Um, Thank you. I don't know. I have a Rumble account, but I haven't really done anything on it. Um, I have to find out, how the streaming works on Rumble. And I have to find that out. I really don't know much about. I think I have one segment uploaded, and I have to find out a little bit more about how. Um, Eliza, exactly. I use eau de Um, I have to find out more about how to start the streaming process. But Snumgless Bench, thank you so very much, everybody here. JG, everybody here, thank you. To my super chat, Ebenezer, thank you so very, very, very much. Jeanette, Snumgless Bench, thank you. Everybody here, thank you. So you have a huge problem here. And the problem is you have the son of a president brokering deals with other countries. And of course, that is not seen as that's not seen as an issue. Like that's not seen as an issue. Here you look, like National Archives. The National Archives story is so unimportant compared to this Hunter Biden story. Look at what the Washington Post and New York Times and CNN are focused on. NBC News, CNN, the New York Times, and the Washington Post are focused on the National Archives. They're not touching this story at all. They can't touch it. And they barely touched the Clinton email stories. Barely. So I mean, you have a huge, huge, huge problem, and the huge problem is just a double standard in terms of um, is a huge problem. Snumgless Bench, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough to get. It's difficult enough to get my um, act together and stream here. Look, it really comes down to, for any content creator, um, it comes down to, is it worth it in terms of, if I'm going to make more money on YouTube, then why would this is the thing. Why would I stream from my perspective as a content creator, or from a lot of content creators' perspective, or a lot of YouTubers' perspective, I think. Why would I stream on Odyssey or Rumble if my YouTube channel could be adversely affected by anything I do say on Odyssey and Rumble? Because that's what could take place. Also, I don't think a lot of people understand. A lot of people think, well, just say what you want in Odyssey or Rumble. It's like, well, yeah, but then even still, you can, if you, the free speech doesn't extend, almost like you still have to kind of abide by YouTube policies in a way, from what I understand. From what I understand. Um, and then it's not like, if I would make more money streaming on YouTube, then why would I stream on Odyssey or Rumble? And especially considering I would still have to watch what I say, or police myself. Um, no, I agree with you on that. I agree. That I agree. I do have to branch out. I agree with that. I agree. On that, Snuggles Bench, I agree with you on. And Eric, I agree with you on. So yeah, freedom! H.A. Trotsky, and anything permanent must be based on truth. History does not view kindly lies. That's true. That's true. Freedom, thank you. Freedom, thank you so very, very much. As always, Freedom Autopsy, thank you. Thank you. So you have you have you have two different types of reporting. Freedom Autopsy Report, thank you so very much. You have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where Yvette, beware of rogue bouncy castles will follow you, HA. Thank you so very much. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, everybody. J Spot 51, weaponizing hypocrisy. Thank you. Yvette, Snubless Bench, Freedom, Ebenezer. I do agree that I have to branch out. I keep saying once I reach this point, I mean, at 200,000 subs, I will definitely do my best to start branching out and hopefully start, you know, the Odyssey or Live or Rumble, um, or you know, starting doing more work there. Um, yeah, I agree with you, Yvette. Thank you so much. I agree with you. I definitely do need to branch out. Thank you so much. Um, this story is going to get interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be grounds for impeachment. The impeachment process will be very, very different. Very, very different. Jeanette Cole, thank you again. The impeachment process this time around, they're going to impeach. They're going to impeach Biden. That's no doubt they will go. They will impeach Biden. That's going to take place, and it's going to be because of Hunter's emails and because of um, the obvious pay-to-play schemes, the obvious quid pro quo or pay-to-play schemes or corrupt behavior. You can't just go ahead and consult or broker deals between state-run or state-affiliated energy companies in China, Kazakhstan, other countries, and not like that has to be in some way that almost certainly in some way has to be approved by the State Department or by some kind of ethics or government, internal watchdog. So, I mean, that almost certainly has to be the case. So yeah, I mean, Emily, hello. Let's look really here. You just look. This would be interesting also. New York Times sues State Department officials for emails mentioning Hunter Biden. There has to be some reason that the New York Times is doing this. It has to be some form of helping the Bidens in some manner. But Times are investigating officials help businesses with links to the U.S. government. The interesting thing is media is slowly moving away from, I mean, ever so slowly, because the presidency is such a monumental failure. His presidency is such a monumental failure, and they, the presidency is such a monumental failure, and also, um, they're so corrupt. And so that's why John Durham is going to continue investigating. Um, the issue, ladies and gentlemen, is Durham is investigating the people who went after Trump. C. Murph, have a great night. Catch up to you next one. Thank you, C. Murph. I'm actually going to head on out soon, but I appreciate your support. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Amazing Colonel, thank you. Thank you. C. Murph, thank you. I'm actually going to head on out in a couple of minutes because I'm just fading fast. But the Durham probe is will investigate all of this. Um, this all ties into the initial investigation of those who set up and framed Trump. They set up, they framed Trump. Yvette Moore, DJT won't be forgetting anyone in the roundup. Oh, he is definitely not a person that you try to mess with and frame and set up without him going on the remembering and going on the counterattack. Yvette, thank you. C. Murph, thank you. Um, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Morgan Weaver! Morgan, thank you. Morgan, thank you so very much. My goodness. It's like I want to go on longer, but I'm like so running out of steam. Morgan, thank you so much. Yvette, thank you. I guess I have to keep on. Secret Scant BAE. We'll make sure that we follow you to whichever platform you branch out on, so we'll absorb all the smart people and morph into a super brain. Yes! Yes! I like it. I love it. Awesome. Secrets Scant BAE. Thank you so very much. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. Yeah, I mean, it is important. You know who does a great job of um new tech or, branching out? Sticks X and Hammer. He does a great job. Sticks does a fantastic job of, definitely focusing on other platforms. I'm definitely going to look into that secret scan. Thank you so very, very much. Um, I'm gonna. I was working on a newsletter, and I'm gonna have to go ahead and, or I can, I could perhaps do a Substack. So maybe I might think of starting a Substack. What do you think of Substack? Just to keep in touch with all my viewers. Secret scan. Thank you so very, very much. Oh, Scantebe. Okay, Secret Scantebe. Teresa, thank you. I don't know. I'm like losing my ability to think now. I don't know why I'm so tired. Um, thank you. I'll just say secret. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you. I'm a fan of his. I think he's awesome. I think they're both awesome. Um, everyone here, thank you so much. Secret, thank you. um, thank you so very much, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be back tomorrow evening. Everybody here, Secret, Morgan, Yvette, C. Murph, J Spot, Ebenezer Adams. Thank you so much, Ebenezer Adams. Greatly appreciated. Freedom. Everybody here. Thanks, everybody. JG, thank you as always. It is an honor for me. Thank you as always, everybody. Jeanette, so sweet of you, so kind of you. Everyone here, thank you. Hit subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. I'll see you very soon, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Morgan, thank you again. To my super chat, thank you. I'll see you very soon. I'm kind of just losing steam. I usually try to go 2 hours. This is an hour and 10 minutes. I've been doing over 2 hours lately, and I'll try to do over 2 hours tomorrow as well.